Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family, and welcome back again to another daily Casper crypto live stream. I apologize for not going live the past 2 days. I don't even really remember what happened. It's been a very busy weekend, to put it lightly, but hopefully the worst is gone now and we can get back to what really matters. Of course, the weekend was not the best for the markets either. Of course, Trump decided to fire some missiles at Iran. We have seen some repercussions as a result of all of that, but the one thing that we can say for right now is a third world war is not happening. And we can say that with confidence because despite the markets and what's happening right now, the news, which we've got a lot of source to get through in this video, all this stuff here, look at the three main markets that I identified these three markets a few days back when the first conflict was starting to rally up more and more. The S&P 500 stock market, the oil market, and the gold market. These are the three key markets that smart money have a ridiculous amount of control over. And despite the escalation seemingly of the war, the S&P 500 is currently up almost 1% today, currently down 2% from all-time highs? It's ridiculous. Gold is not really moving much at all today, and still then it's only 2% off all-time highs, give or take, 3%. And oil, which started off today here, rallied up about 5% when the markets opened very, very quickly, and then has nosedived since then as well, and is down 7%. So right now the smart money are pricing like a third world war, and if anything, they're pricing like this war is about to come to an end. We're below $70 a barrel again, which is where we were at before Israel decided to start firing missiles at Iran. So while we get through all the sources for today's stream regarding the fundamentals, a bit of outlook on the market, and then of course the Casper updates, just once more keep in mind, don't be emotional, be logical. I also do plan to release a video later today. This one's going to be on Zebec or ZBCM, Zebec Network, which has seen a very, very nice pump recently, jumping up over 20% earlier. Very, very insane. It's currently down about 0.64%. I've looked through Zebec Network and I think it's one that could do very, very well based on their partnerships. Of course, the video just go into their tokenomics as well, and of course it's not fair launch, so of course do your own research, trade your own discretion, but the video will give a bit of a rundown on their history, what's happened as of late, and truth be told, I am not decided that I'm going to get into it just yet. I might wait for a bit more of a call off depending, because right now there's so much uncertainty with this war right now, so much uncertainty that we could definitely see an escalation at any moment. We're seeing a nice alleviation right now. Markets are looking very, very good across the whole board, saying the war is basically coming to an end, it looks like. But again, we're still very much in a very, very low point. If you drew out the fib retracement that I did showcase in the video that I post later, and equally as I draw it out right now, we did see the Zebec touch that bottom of the golden pocket, which could be a very good entry zone. Is now made that push back upwards, getting rejected at the top of the golden pocket, and is now currently trading around this zone. Again, we'll have to see where it is. Zebec's only got a $300 million market cap, so a very, very small project, but I'll get back to Zebec later on because, of course, first and foremost, let's do the pleasantries, get into the fundamentals, the Casper content, and then get into the altcoins. Welcome back, everyone, again to the stream. Falcon Man, welcome back, brother. This 6th sense level really giving me a roller coaster ride. Yeah, you can say that again. It's been one of many trials and turbulence for Casper, to say the least. Looking like a possibility we do see it come back down to that 5 cents again, potentially down here. Again, it does depend right now. The war, while the market seems to suggest that the war and this escalation is coming down, again, that could easily flip on its head at any moment, especially as Trump decides to fire missiles unconstitutionally. Again, that's not going to benefit anybody in the slightest right now. But we'll get into all of that in a moment. What's up, Greg, bro? Hope you're doing very, very well, my man. Welcome back. Hope everything is okay with the family situation. It's as good as it can be. I'll leave it at that. well, I might talk about that at a later time, but right now let's get into the content first and foremost. Zane has made the live. What's good, fam? Welcome back, my man. Hope you're doing very, very well, brother. And Crip Tony, again, my man, welcome back. And Stuntoma, all of you, man, welcome back. I'd love to have you all back here again, tuning into the stream. Stack, brother, welcome back again. Victor, saw a few videos of businesses accepting Kaspa. I'm sure this is just the beginning. Yeah, you're seeing gradually more and more businesses starting to accept Kaspa. And equally, you're seeing a lot of the projects within Kaspa starting to branch out a little bit more so as well. I know, for example, I know Wolfie, they're doing a lot of stuff right now. And the other KRC20 projects also doing quite a lot. So, you know, I think that is a space that's going to do very, very well as the cycle starts to expand more. So we did actually receive some very, very big news just earlier today, about half an hour ago, from the Fed, which is very, very bullish. We're going to get into this a little later on, but this is actually a very, very big green light for crypto adoption for banks as well, which is huge news. So we'll get to that later on in a moment. Welcome back, Mr. Miles, my man. Having a great day so far, hopefully. Please no bullying today. What's up, my man? Captain Kaspa will bring Kaspa recognition. I mean, recognition to Kaspa is going to come inevitably, in my belief as well. Wrong bud on the brink. Canada is getting involved in Ukraine. NATO scrambling jets in the region to counter Russian bombs. Iran moved all their uranium as well before the bombing, and now they closed the strait. Well, that's what I mean. Like, the whole premise of what I'm trying to say is the markets are pricing like the war is not coming. But there still are many sources that suggest that the situation by no means has come to an end just yet. The way that I am currently determining how the markets are going to react is looking at these three key markets, because these are the markets that the smart money will get their insider information and trade first and foremost. When the SP 500 comes crashing down, when the oil rallies above $120 a barrel, when gold surges past all-time highs, then I might be a little bit more worried. Right now, oil's coming down quite significantly. Gold's still trading quite level. S&P 500 is currently up a little bit today. The markets are suggesting the war is not on the horizon. But that as well can very well change at a moment's notice. We are definitely seeing a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. So before I get into any more, although welcome back again, Ghost 100 doing very, very well. And yes, smash that like button if you enjoy the content. Let's get into some of the sources first and foremost here. So we got here from Solid Intel. Qatar has closed its airspace, quote, until further notice. And Iran had gave advance notice of Qatar-based attacks to minimize casualties. So we have seen very recently that Iran had actually bombed some US, I think it was some sites, some Air Force sites. So US aircraft takes off from Saudi Arabia airbase, and Qatar says reserves the right to respond to this blatant attack. Things are escalating. From the looks of things are escalating, and it's definitely a cause for concern. By no means am I chill right now, despite how I might sound. I'm not necessarily chill, of course. Once more, trying to think logically, not off emotions right now. The markets right now is what I'm paying close attention to, because while we're seeing all this information right now, for me, I think the biggest driver of anybody's, I think the most obvious indicator is people's greed. Greed is such an easy thing to, identify, right? And there's no bigger greed than making money. All the people who have a lot of capital, the insider trading, they are going to pump or dump the markets in accordance when they know the time is right. Greed. There's so many sources I can look through that all say 101 different things. It's so hard to ascertain what's really the truth of the matter, unless we're in these insider talks, speaking to, Iran's president, or Putin, whoever speaks, or Trump, whoever actually speaks. It's so hard to really ascertain what's going on right now, besides just looking at sources from the Wall Street Journal or New York Times, whoever it is giving the information, right? Not everyone can be trustworthy. So right now, what I'm doing to determine how the markets are reacting is looking at these three markets that are, for me, a more accurate indicator of how the smart money are trading on the market, because they're going to take out or go in when the markets are right. They're going to capitalize off this as it is a way to make money. It's a sick way to make money, but it's how the smart money do things. So yeah, Iran gave advance notice to Qatar attacks to minimize casualties. You're seeing US seemingly are still rallying their troops. We've seen Qatar firing bombs back at US sites. So we can see here the US bombed Iranian nuclear sites, and Iran's parliament just voted to close the Strait of Hormuz. I've butchered that probably, and I apologize. But that's a big deal because the strait here is responsible for 20% of all oil trades. A lot of that goes towards China as well, so that could definitely put Trump in China's bad books, which would not be ideal. And of course, put Iran in China's bad books as well, but it would be a consequence of Trump launching the missiles. But despite that happening, and of course, that's definitely a cause for concern, we are seeing some oil tankers starting to divert other ways around to avoid the strait. And 15 hours after the futures opened, the SP 500 futures are green and oil prices are red. We just showcased that earlier. So it looks very, very weird right now. The markets definitely are not pricing like we're on the brink of a third world war. Markets continue to expect a short-lived conflict. Oil is now below where it was when Israel launched this entire theatre before the whole thing took off. So it's definitely right now. That's the whole premise right now. Sources are saying one thing, the market's saying another one. Which one do you trust? Me personally, I choose to trust the money because people are greedy, and it's easy to spread misinformation, but it's harder to hide what's happening in the markets. Not exactly, but that's how I'm perceiving it right now. Again, once I see oil skyrocketing, I'm like, okay, I think there's a problem on hands. But right now, oil's down 7%. It's come down drastically today. It rallied up immediately the markets opened and came straight back down, which is very, very interesting. So we got a bit of a breakdown here from the KYC letter, and I did highlight all this information alongside some extremely important alpha information to my VIPs earlier. I made a post about it on the channel. For those, of course, who want to find out more about it, you check out the VIP group. We just finished our 22nd week in a row of executive roundtables, our weekly roundtables, and we covered, of course, the war situation, what's happening right now, the belief, and equally the alpha institutional insights that highlight to us the transformation we're about to see this year and how it's going to escalate so much further in the next 2 years. Where how you're going to see automated systems handle $93 trillion a year. That's not a joke, that's a stat taken from institutional documentation. If you want to find out more, again, the link to check out the VIP, the roundtable, is available in the VIP group, which you can find out, of course, link down below in the description and also my homepage as well. But, shameless shell aside, this is a bit of an update here, a bit of a TLDR in regards to it from KYC letter here. So, Iran's attack on US bases today was deemed as actually a de-escalatory event, and this is why. First, details have emerged that both President Trump and Qatari officials were notified in advance of the attack, according to, again, New York Times. Are they being truthful? Are they putting information? Again, it's hard to ascertain right now. That's the problem with information. It's so hard to determine what's happening right now, hence why I'm taking everything I see with a grain of salt right now, and I'm paying reaction to the markets, not being emotional, thinking logically, and look how the markets are reacting. Iranian officials says this was to minimize casualties. On Sunday, we posted a note stating our full bull case of this weekend events, which is one where Israel, Iran, and the United States can all claim victory. Because Israel say they've destroyed Iran's nuclear capabilities, the United States will say the same, and they have done the same. And then Iran will say they've dealt a blow to Israel and the United States by bombing them back. And that's kind of what happened today, because today Iran did exactly that when they called them devastating and powerful to the United States, and they bombed them back with the exact same number of bombs the United States used on the Iranian nuclear sites, which is a kind of a symbolic attack, therefore. So it was deemed right now, at least from the market, deemed as a de-escalatory attack, one that will hopefully open the doors to peace talks to resume. Ultimately, right now, the truth of the matter is still fresh. It's an open wound. We have to see how it develops from this point forward as well. But what we can say for certain is the markets right now are not pricing in a third world war just yet. Of course, again, fresh wound. This can easily go south at any moment. So not financial advice, but one thing that I have done a little bit on some of my assets is I've decided to put it into stablecoins. I have not taken anything out of Kaspa. If anything, I'm going to probably buy a little bit more soon. I've got an addiction. Can't lie, I've got an addiction. Kaspa currently up 7.38% on the daily time frame right now, making that push towards 7 cents. Will it break that? Hopefully it will, but again, with the current market sentiment, it's going to be tough. If Bitcoin can break up 105k, that'd be insane. We're speaking about it as well. We do believe that Bitcoin could probably surpass and reach 106k, and then maybe see a rejection again, depending on the market sentiment. Again, that's available in the VIP. Spoke about it earlier of our experienced trader, C Crypto. But I might be more Casper, but there's some other cryptocurrencies like some XRP that I've been holding, which I have taken a little bit out of that to hold stablecoins until there's a bit more clarity in the markets right now. So it's something that I do personally when things are getting too heated. I do it particularly if I'm in meme coin trading, which I'm not currently in any of those, but I do plan to get into them again soon. When the fund is not there, I'll put it into stablecoins, hold it until the markets are more stable, and then I'll get back involved again. And the reason why I'm optimistic, this week's going to be a very important one, because we do have some very, very important talks taking place as well. Tomorrow and on Wednesday, we have Jerome Powell addressing and testifying the nation effectively about his thoughts. What's just happened with these, unconstitutional bombs being dropped, that could very heavily influence Jerome Powell's decision, because we heard at the last FOMC meeting on the 18th, 5 days ago, that Jerome Powell and the Fed were highlighting the potential that they may start issuing, 2 rate cuts this year, still pricing them 2 in. And we may see one potentially as soon as next month. Of course, that's still a possibility, but now, with these bombs being dropped in such a, again, I have to say unconstitutional, because he dropped it without letting Congress know. With that happening, and right now oil's not going up, which is reassuring. But if oil does start rallying up massively, which is still a possibility if this war continues to escalate, we are going to see inflation shoot up, and therefore chances of rate cuts massively decrease. JP Morgan believe that if this war, develops, we'll see oil reach $120 per barrel, we'll see 5% inflation in the United States, and we'll see rate hikes therefore, because they've got to control the inflation. So it really does depend right now. So stay tuned to what Jerome Powell says on Tuesday, tomorrow, and on Wednesday. That'll let us know exactly how they're thinking about the markets right now. And there are many more other macro factors taking place as well. Got the Bank of Japan decisions where they're going to be, I believe they're currently hiking rates themselves, Bank of Japan. And equally got some other deficient, home sales data coming out in the United States as well. So a lot more important macro things to take into account that I'll be, of course, letting my VIPs know the moment it comes through, and likely letting people know here as well, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, a lot of uncertainty in the markets right now, but the reassuring thing here, as potentially the last thing for the macro news in this video, this stream today, is this recent report from the former Fox Business journalist Eleanor Terrett. The Fed says they're scrapping reputational risks as a factor in how it supervises banks. This is something that the Biden administration and Gary Gensler held on to, like a last-ditch hope to force banks to basically stay away from crypto. And the Fed are now removing that. In a memo release today, the central bank says it will remove the term which lawmakers credit with playing a major role in the debanking of crypto firms and other businesses for exam manuals, and train examiners to focus on specific financial risks instead. So they're not making a generalized term for it, reputational risks. They're now actually focusing more on what they need to look at to help protect the investors and the market. It's the Fed. Fed is the last of the major bank regulators to get rid of them. Again, this is a very, very good right step in the direction for crypto adoption and what's going to come, hopefully, to this space very, very soon. One thing that is a bit unfortunate, which is unfortunate, but of course, understandable consequences because of all this uncertainty with how crypto especially reacted following this whole, war that's ongoing. The stablecoin, the Bitcoin strategic reserves that were, being drawn up, they've had another halt again because, again, Bitcoin is not acting as the stable gold asset. Like, gold has been very stable throughout all this time. Look at that. For all this, conflict, gold's come back a bit, but even then, gold has not been moved that much at all. Of course, it's a much larger market cap than Bitcoin is, of course. But Bitcoin has been a lot more volatile, and that's not really reassuring to make an strategic reserve on it. So I still have no doubt it will come through in due time, but that has definitely put another hurdle in the way. So I'll see how that comes out and how it develops. We'll get some of the Casper news and again go into the Zebec a little bit and some other altcoins potentially. Before I do this, get some more questions real quickly though, first and foremost. crypto money against which is going to prompt even further retaliation and response from the West. Iran has asked Russia, China and North Korea to join the fight to get ready. Again, ultimately we've got to play it by ear, listen very, very closely. This, I have to reiterate again, this situation by no means is resolved just yet. Anything is possible. We are hearing sources saying that Iran are going to all these major powers to prepare for a fight. We're hearing the vice versa from other side of things as well. It's really hard to determine what's really, really happening right now. It's really, really hard to do so. So while I'm not discrediting the possibility of such, because again, I'm not here to spread misinformation. I'm here to just try and spread what I understand for the markets right now. My understanding is there's a lot of information going out right now, all claiming different sources. So what I'm doing is looking at these three markets that give me more clarity on what's actually going on. Although I'm saying that, Kryptonian, your information has always been very, very good. You've had very good sources, so maybe you know something that I don't. And again, I respect that for that. Either way, I'm still not, again, I'm not chilled. I'm not being emotional, of course, trying to think logically once more. That's why, again, from the information that I disclosed to my VIPs earlier, again, shameless plug, but the information we looked at earlier gave us even more conviction that crypto, we even speculated that what's happening right now is actually a strategic ploy by the smart money to get people out of crypto. They got into it so late, but you've got to understand as well that the whole entire monetary system is being refinanced, redesigned to work all around the blockchain system and crypto. So in that regard then, is crypto going to go to zero? Chances are slim to none. In fact, I would say it is none. Of course, not financial advice, but we are seeing all these massive payment providers, all these massive institutions, JP Morgan Bank recently, you had Goldman Sachs, all sorts that I've covered in that VIP group that showcased to us these massive institutions are getting more involved in crypto. So with that being said, is crypto done for as a result of this war? You might see pullbacks, but it's not done for. There's no way in my mind it's done for. There will be a lot of cryptos that go to zero as a result of them not having the liquidity, them being rug pulls, whatever it may be, but crypto's not going to go to zero. And for me also, I don't think Kaspa will be one of those either, because as a community as we are, I think we believe what we hold enough to keep it up. That's my belief, at least. Of course, hopefully I can see that'll come to fruition right now. We'll get into some Kaspa sources in a short moment real quickly though. Entry for Zebec, yeah, maybe. Again, it's currently doing quite well. Had a nice reversal. The entry down here was very, very nice. I actually, when I was recording my video, it was literally at like going up at this point. I did say in the video that I wasn't particularly sure just yet, because again, there's so much uncertainty. We could see further pullbacks. We could see, I think the next week to 2 weeks is going to be extremely volatile for crypto. Very volatile. Welcome back, Ben Bros. You're doing very, very well. I love the markets going down. It's a blessing to stack up Kaspa, having over 1.2 mil Kaspa and adding. Great stuff, Ben. Keep stacking that bag, brother. What's up, LP Crypto on the check-in? We're up 11%. Yeah, Kaspa right now is up about 7.25%. It's doing very, very well, which is great to see. But again, this could just be short-lived. We can't sing our praises just yet. There's still so much uncertainty right now. War is looming. But that's the thing, right? I have to say now with the utmost confidence that this has probably been the worst market for noise. And I say noise because it is noise. We know the vision for crypto. We should know. We should know where it's going at this point. If you don't, again, my VIP, you can join for a week free, or better still, you can get a 1 month free trial by joining through the affiliate link to BYDFI. I'll explain more about that in a moment. But in the VIP, we showcase so many sources about what's coming to crypto, what the banks want to come into crypto. This here is a testament to what they want to happen. They want to get more involved in crypto right now. That is huge news. So crypto, no doubt, is going to take over. But what's happening in the short term is complete and utter noise. There's tariff concerns. There's recession concerns. There's war concerns. There's not just Iran and Israel, but also Ukraine and Russia, and equally is expanding more so as well. You know, concerns of oil exploding, concerns of there's so much noise. The Fed's still not cutting rates. You know, every other major nation and power, China, EU, the World Bank, they've cut rates significantly. Fed has not cut them at all. There's so much noise and FUD, and it's causing investors to get really, really panicked. I'm calm. I'm more than calm or anything. Maybe I'm too calm. I do suspect we could see more downside in the short term. I'd hope I'm wrong, but I'm playing reaction to the markets right now and see what's happening right now. The markets right now are equally unsure. You could argue they're also trying to pump the market as high as they could possibly can in preparation for a massive pullback. We'll have to wait and see. What's up, Lord XRP? Or not XRP, Lord Kaspa, bro. Is escalation really coming down? Iran attacked USA base in Qatar and Iraq. Well, again, we have to be, we're still trying to determine what's really going on, because again, there are sources suggesting that actually it was a de-escalatory attack because they fired the same number of missiles as the United States did on them to their US base. So it was not escalation per se, of the exact same, therefore could be perceived as de-escalatory. Again, we have to wait and see. There's so much going on right now. It's tough to really determine what's going on. Look, Iran's response has begun after US strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. Iran just attacked US military bases in Qatar and Iraq. Meanwhile, oil prices are crashing down over 60% on the news. Why are markets crashing? And, you know, it's got a whole thread from Kobe's letter here, which is always just covering what we've already covered, right? The fact that seemingly smart money are not worried about it, because there apparently were forewarnings from Iran they were going to lose anyways, giving it to Qatar. Again, we saw that earlier here. Iran gave advance notice of Qatar base attacks to minimize casualties. If that's actually the case, then there can't be an escalation. It looks more de-escalatory right now. Welcome back, JD, DD bro, Double D, hope you're doing very, very well, man. Just found out the VP of the Federal Reserve, Michael Bowman, supports July rate cuts. I believe another member supported July rate cuts as well over the weekend. July is looking bullish. Pack your bags. Yeah, I have seen that as well. I think there's even an interview on that as well. And again, they're supporting it, but it does ultimately come down to how the Fed conjointly agree. I think it would be great, but I think it might be a bit early still. Especially now we've got this escalation and uncertainty of war. Doing anything in that regard right now will probably be a bit risky, because, again, we have no idea what's going to happen next. So we'll have to see. Again, Jerome Powell's speech tomorrow and on Wednesday will be very important. Since then, the USA has done air superiority drills with South Korea, and in response, North Korea have fired 10 missiles to the sea. Well, again, it's getting heated, I can say that much. She's the vice chairman of okay. Good evening, DC bro, you're doing very, very well, brother. Up 11% and down 50% from all-time highs. Yeah, I know. It's a whole ordeal, right? Whole ordeal, but you can pretty much pick a name out of the hat of any project, and they've all had a very similar fluctuating of price. You know, even Zebec, fantastic recently. It rallied up over 10x in value from the end of April to the end of May. Insane stuff. And then it's come back itself 50% in the span of a month. So again, every project has. Again, Zebec's much smaller. That's me just nitpicking there. But again, I don't need to delve too much into it. We know the argument about it all the time, and in fact, there is a post that I'm sure people have already seen this F you to Wall Street post type thing here that I'll get into in a moment as well, which is an interesting read, which has been reposted by the likes of KRI as well, and many others, which I will get into in a moment. I think it's very interesting. Conviction, you're right, Dimitar. There's definitely conviction, to say the least. But that being said, they told Trump to drop some bombs and we'll give you a rate cuts. That would be insane. That'd be insane. Anyone slurped up Tau? I'm up 10% in less than 24 hours. I have not got any more Tau just yet, but yeah, Tau again. Anyone who got on that dip, you're looking very, very nice right now. Again, we could see it take a turn for the worst. Don't be emotional, be logical. Things are not out of the woods just yet, but the markets are looking good today, which is reassuring. So traders are having a field day. Anyone who's holding for the long term, or maybe holding for a little longer trade, just be wary. We're not at the end of it just yet. We have to see a bit more. That being said, let's get into some of the more Kaspa content first and foremost. So we've got this first post here, actually, a very interesting one from one of the lead core developers, Michael Sutton here, who, remember, about 3 or 4 days back, promised a cool post on Kaspa, which he has not done, and he's concluded he will not be doing it just yet, because he plans to finalize the infra prototype code first, so that they can be open source, and they can do it along with the post explaining the concepts. So the sneak peek is about the raw idea is a fast, immediate path to vibe coding episode-based KDAPs. So hopefully we see a lot more about that as well, which will be very interesting. And he also highlights here the general roadmap post is still to be decided. and will take a little bit longer. So we don't know exactly when it's going to come out. I'm hoping it'll be at least next month. At least next month in July, we'll see a roadmap. Because, it's all well and good being told IG's releasing stuff next month for their public testnet. Casplex are meant to be releasing their mainnet soon enough. And you've got Dagonite coming in the future. It's all well and good being told these things, but people like to have a roadmap. Of course, making a roadmap makes it, you've got to try and reach those targets, which can always be difficult when you're, making history. It's very hard to reach a deadline when you're not following a blueprint. You've got to make the blueprint yourself, so it's harder. But it would give definitely investors more confidence, even then probably the smart money. I think the roadmap's also an idea that the founders have put together in a sense to try and incentivize more of the institutional and smart money and VC investors to start looking at Kaspa. Because despite Kaspa being fair launch and it's all well and good, Sompolinsky himself did highlight that Kaspa's lack of VCs and institutional investors has definitely limited its growth. And it does need that effectively to help become a top 5 project. Some big investments. We'll get into that actually. First and foremost right here. So the Kas Media has made one of their weekly posts here talking about the things we've seen in the last week. How Kaspa will one day hopefully be a top 5 coin in market cap, as again adhering to Sompolinsky and his post about it. So got a lot here to talk about. This is one about Sompolinsky part, which to again summarize that very, very briefly. Sompolinsky basically shared his vision for Kaspa's future, talking about it in regards to LeBron James. But he emphasized that Kaspa kind of needs to attract institutional investors, but not necessarily with paying them like every other project does, but to do it with robust products. So you can't just say, oh yeah, Franklin Templeton, come to Kaspa because Kaspa's the fastest proof of work. Strong fundamentals, fantastic of course, but they don't care about strong fundamentals. If they did, they'd all be over Kaspa right now. What they need is robust products. What they need, I guess, is for the development of the ecosystem, therefore. Smart contracts, from the EVM to then bridging to the Solana virtual machine, to the XRP, the Bitcoin, the Sui chain. We need more robust products, more stuff building on Kaspa, more activity taking place on Kaspa as well, to incentivize the institutional investor to jump on Kaspa. It's important that we do that. Of course, trying to remain authentic is still the biggest element, so making it community driven still is the biggest thing for Kaspa. We don't want to lose our decentralized nature. What's made Kaspa so unique, like Bitcoin, therefore. That's what Michael Sutton was saying similarly as well. Of course, they're both very passionate about Kaspa. They still believe it's going to be an absolutely huge project. He posed a pivotal question from Galaxy Capital's co-founder. If your wealth was stored in USD and someone put a gun to your head and forced you to take place in one single crypto asset, would you choose Bitcoin or Kaspa? Sompolinsky said he'd choose Kaspa without hesitation, but acknowledged the uphill battle that decision represents because, again, Bitcoin has the institutional investors, the ETFs and whatnot. Kaspa is still struggling in that regard as well. But more and more stuff is going to be built, and they seemingly take an acknowledgement of that as well, which is reassuring. They've got about a lot more stuff here. The Kasway app rewrite. They're interested in native way, a complete rewrite of the web app designed for speed and native experience coming soon. So we read it a little bit more here as well about the Kasway rewrite. So ultimately this rewrite here, and again, provide faster, more seamless and native app-like experience, which will include sales, receipts and transaction history exports and whatnot, which is a good major step for Kasway to become this POS system. It also talks about the currency wallet in here as well. Right here, the currency wallet as well, to support mobile transactions using the inscribed.cas domains, including the meme tokens and the NFTs as well. So we are seeing again the dApps within Kaspa starting to rewrite themselves and kind of explore and brand out more so as well, which again is going to be very, very important to hopefully onboarding these institutional investors in the future as well. We've got also more news here regarding Zeta Swap. They took part on the XSIM podcast, which I've not had the liberty of watching just yet. Again, been a bit of a whole weekend for me. But I will plan to get around to it at some point. But I mean, from what I've seen so far, they did make some big announcements regarding their partner, Moonbound, and they've launched their public testnet as well, their beta testnet, which is very, very cool. And Moonbound allows users to easily deploy fair launch tokens with automated pricing and continuous token issuance. So very big, and the first trading platform built for the Ethereum virtual machine on Kaspa. So again, it looks like they're doing a lot of big activity as well, which is fantastic. They've both got audited as well. Again, not a silver bullet, not saying they're therefore completely safe, but they're safer and they're more secure as a result of it. There can still be issues with it, as anything could be, but it's better, which is fantastic for Zeta swaps. I'm getting more faith in them, and I think my faith is also, I still use Casper.com. I haven't tried Zeta swap just yet, but I'm seeing more and more that's reigniting my belief and my trust in the infrastructure. And the fact that they're also going to be using Casplex and also IGRA, meaning they've got both platforms, I think also is very, very cool. Because, some people right now have their conflicting opinions on Casplex right now. And IGRA as well. So them being part of both could, again, be beneficial for them. They're getting best of both worlds effectively, which is great stuff to see all around. In regards to some more, I don't want to keep rambling on about the Cas Media post again. You can read it for yourself. It's a 50-minute long article. I'm trying to summarize it best as I can. Other key updates I mentioned about was the Genius Act. We talked about that last week. There was absolutely huge news, them passing it. Now going towards the Senate, hopefully it will pass soon enough. Of course, the KRI mentioned how they're looking at the article very, very closely, the document very closely, so they can make sure their gigawatt stablecoin is backed 1-to-1 with US dollars, or how the gigawatt will basically be aligned with the Genius Stablecoin Act, or just their along with it in general, which would be very, very big. And of course, we saw how the KRI was featured in a recent article with ZETEA, in regards to the MENA region and trying to basically build a renewable energy commodity and trading platform, which will obviously run off Casper as well and their gigawatt stablecoin. So that is which is right here, the ZAWYA, which ultimately, very, very big week for Casper, truth be told. It doesn't feel like that, truth be told. It doesn't feel like it at all, because there's been so much rubbish and noise. And of course, in that week, Casper has come down, when I'm looking at the 15th or so, about here. Yeah, Casper has come down currently down 5%, but it came down as far as 20% almost for all that time. So it doesn't feel like Casper's doing fantastically well price action wise, but there have been a lot of big developments. It's just right now that the macro is weighing in on the market, and again, Bitcoin dominance is going higher and higher, and as a result of Bitcoin dominance being so high, all assets are following in suit. 65%, that's easily going to surpass 70-day cycle, so keep that in mind as well. But Casper's still building a lot right now, and KRI equally are making some very interesting announcements as well. Some I'm a bit interested about, some I'm very, very bullish about. Again, we'll get into all of that in a short moment. But here, KRI, one of their big posts I was very happy to see about was the global financial rail positioning, how they're going to help do that with Casper as well. And the key financial applications, they've got supply chain verification, immutable proof of origin tracking, cross-border payments, corporate free international transfers, institutional infrastructure, so bank grade neutral rails, trade finance, so decentralized letters of credit, and central bank digital currencies, neutral protocol foundation. They are actively participating and getting Casper integrated into all of the major payment rails while still retaining their decentralized nature. So of course I have to see what happens more so in that. I'm hearing a lot of people are just so frustrated with the price right now. They're getting very antsy with the KF and equally with the KRI as well. And I get it. I want to see some actual developments as well, but we've got to be patient, unfortunately. Competitive advantages, there's no corporate control like Ripple or Stellar, which, they have their benefits. Of course, their shortcomings as well. They are not as trustworthy. Again, the corporate control, they can just take it and stop whenever they want. Bitcoin level decentralization, but with superior performance. Institutional grade, so scalable enough for global finance. Neutral protocol, no single entity profits or controls, and censorship resistance or unstoppable global finance infrastructure. And their targets are global banks, government treasuries, supply chain companies, trade finance firms, and financial regulators. They have been in contact with all of them, and their partners are very profound. Shell, DHL, Hyundai, PwC, and many, many more. KRI seem to be cooking right now, and they do have a lot of big things they're trying to get ready and up and way in the next 2.5 months or so. Now, one thing they have been releasing as well recently, which I'm not too sure about, is their whole Think Casper series they've been doing. They released a lot of these like AI stuff, and I don't really know how I feel about it. Really, I really don't. You can go through their page, their 24-hour Think Casper campaign, which is pretty much just a load of AI videos when they're just making comparisons to the likes of Solana or Ethereum, or any other asset that is right now, and just basically comparing and just saying Think Casper instead. I think it's not a bad idea, but I just don't think it's. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I did see some comments about it, and they were not very. They were like, "Why are the KR doing this stuff?" You know, and I'm conflicted. You know, I'm Kaspa or Solana. I think Kaspa. I'm conflicted. I don't think it's a terrible idea, but I don't know what it's really meant to achieve. I don't feel like I prefer to read something that's going to give me more insightful information than just an AI campaign on 10 seconds about what Kaspa is or something like that, you know. But again, that is what we're currently looking at right now. And then, you know, rambling on for a while, I do apologize. I'll get to some comments in a moment and questions. But one part of the title today, we saw a huge surge in Kaspa transactions, which happened again on the Saturday. Very, very big surge. So what caused this spike? Because it looks like Kaspa's cooking right now. Well, it turns out the spike was actually a result of the messaging on Kaspa as a result of Cassia. Every text counts as a transaction, fully encrypted too, and of course the fee is very, very low. So it's an interesting one because it could be a case of, again, you can tell me your thoughts as well. It's interesting for me because it's like, okay, so every text counts as a transaction, but at the same time, every transaction is, you know, 0.0001 Kaspa. It's very, very cheap. So it's going to look like Kaspa's got a lot of adoption and stuff taking place on the chain or the platform, which is fantastic, but it's just messaging back and forth. So could that be deceiving to people? I don't know. I'm not by any means against Cassia. I think Cassia is fantastic, and I'm looking forward to more and more stuff as well. I'm looking more and more stuff towards them, but it's just, I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be potentially detriment to Kaspa, if people perceive this as actual transactions and they realize it's just messaging from Cassia. Maybe it's going to be a bit more damaging as well. Again, time will tell. There's more coming through for Kaspa, and we have a few more announcements to get through as well in regards to that elusive wallet too, scooping up a stupid amount of Kaspa, 31.5 million Kaspa, $2.1 million worth. Insane stuff, almost at 800 million Kaspa. Still no confirmation on who the wallet is. We believe now it's probably a market maker of sorts. Maybe it's Wintermute, or maybe it's DWF Labs, maybe it's KRI. We don't really know, but our perception right now is probably a platform that's going to, you know, leverage that capital to the tier ones when they are ready to list Kaspa. We'll have to wait and see, of course, but things are looking, again, despite Kaspa's lackluster price action, you're seeing continuous inflows from these big addresses. So evidently Kaspa can't be perceived as a dead project. It might be frustrating for retail, for a lot of us were sold a false dream, promised a soon coming bull cycle, but it's not Kaspa's doing badly. Everything is doing badly. Nothing's rallying right now. So you being frustrated with Kaspa, which I understand is completely justified, you'd be frustrated with pretty much every other project in the space as well right now. A lot performed a lot better. I can't disagree with that. And I'm not going to discredit your emotions and feelings either, but a lot of projects right now, it's all in hindsight in the day, isn't it? All hindsight. You could have got into Sui here. If you're going to Sui, what, even April, and it went up, came down, or you've gone to Sui like back here when I got into it, you'd be up on it right now compared to Kaspa, where if you got in a similar time, October, Kaspa, you'd be down from here. So it's all hypothetical, right? But is there any confirmation that you would have bought in down here and sold at the top up there? No. Again, if it was all an easy space, we'd all be millionaires and billionaires. And the fact that there's so much uncertainty going on right now, it makes it harder to really ascertain what's going on. You know, everyone's giving their own predictions. Unless you're in these insider circles, no one has a clue what's going on. Unless you're speaking to Trump directly, no one has a clue what's going on. And truth be told, there are times where I don't even think he knows what he's doing. Because, I mean, again, I think my only biggest qualm right now that are very close is him unconstitutionally bombing Iran. I don't know why he did not go. Well, I do know why, but the fact he didn't go to Congress, it's just ridiculous. That is wrong beyond all measurements. But it's been and done. I say been and done. It's been done and it's still ongoing. We'll see what repercussions come from that as well. The markets are still at a very, very fragile moment. We could see more pullbacks, but again, the long-term outlook, and even when I say long-term outlook, when I say long-term, I mean the next 2-3 months. Not that long, truth be told. 2-3 months for me are still looking strong. again, we could see some more pullbacks. If we get obviously World War III confirmations, God forbid, then yeah, it's a different conversation entirely. But otherwise, then things are still looking very, very strong. If you want to find out more, then again, come learn more on the VIP. Wop.com/coin factory. You find out a lot more in there, institutional documents, alpha information ahead of time. You do our weekly live streams, trade alerts, so much more, educational videos, and actually got 7-day free trial. But equally, if you want to get more benefits, you can come check out this for a 1-month free trial if you sign up to the BYDFI affiliate link. If you check out the Get VIP Access channel right here, and you follow the steps here as well, for the link to put $100 into your account, you can get permanent VIP access to the BYDFI channels and a 1-month free trial to the Coin Factory executives as well. And that actually, BYDFI put on 2 campaigns now with us, with me and my community, which is the ongoing Kaspa trading campaign, a chance to win Kaspa. And of course, yes, you can end up winning up to almost $10,000 worth of Kaspa. Of course, if you're a whale trader. And equally, they've also extended their new user deposit bonus as well. You can get up to $2,000 bonus for trading as well. So if you want to find out a lot more, get extra benefits of trading, BYDFI, no KYC, no VPN, and regulatory licenses in Canada and America, and equally 1-month free trials to the VIP. Come check it out. Sign up for the affiliate link. Click on the links here to join the Kaspa trading thing as well. And equally, then reach out to me and message me on Discord, because I can help you out, set you up to the executive channel. You can find out a lot more in there as well. But yes, there's a lot more coming through, and I'm still not worried about the space. Short term, sure. There's a lot of uncertainty, but medium term, I'm very, very comfortable what's going to happen right now. Tau is looking as shaky as Kaspa, not quite as shaky, but altcoin market is broken. Yes, it's completely broken because right now Bitcoin dominance is really, really high, and all the big money, all the institutions who got involved, they're pretty much all in Bitcoin alone. They haven't got access to XRP or anything else with ETFs just yet. They gain access to it. XRP is getting a lot of very good partnerships recently. So they're going to get access to those very, very soon. Solana, XRP, you'll probably see Doge, you'll probably see Hedera HBAR, maybe not till next year, but you'll see them come through, and you'll see altcoins take off very, very nicely. But it's been a very tough market for altcoins because you're seeing more adoption into these crypto market, but as a result of the uncertainty right now, people again are also going to Bitcoin instead. Durable goods and PCE, it will be important. Could be released. Yes, also important. Yes, you're not just got Jerome Powell, who's going to be speaking tomorrow and Wednesday as well. You also got the PCE and durable goods report as well that also give us a potential relief rally if they do come back favourable as well. Again, we'll have to wait and see. This week's going to be an important one. But understand right now that despite macro could be very, very good, we are definitely in a headline-driven market. We could see the best macro data ever. If we end up seeing Trump launches more missiles and we see World War III, markets are coming down. Doesn't matter what Jerome Powell says, markets are coming down. I'm not seeing a design for this CAS secure messaging project yet. I can't find one with the pertinent details of what the block DAG adds to secure messaging other than DAO's resistance. I haven't looked into it too much. I'm trying to find out more about it. I'm sure if you reached out to Casper Silva, of course, again, he's going through a lot right now, so don't bother the man. You know, if you're trying to ask a respectful question, just ask more about Cassia, then I'm sure he's more than willing to answer. Again, he's going through a lot, so don't by any means burden him. But if you want to find out more, I think Christian Ludwig seemed to have an insight on the matter as well. And equally, Casper Silva was also very involved with Cassia as well. So you can find out more information from them, I'm sure. And they can give you an answer. I'll try and find some myself as well, though. Hall, Casper, and Tau. I think both are very strong projects, truth be told. Say's looking the best from all of them. I think Say is a strong project as well. Of course, I am holding that. I am down on Say, though. I'm down on Say. I got in around, I think it was like probably 0.4, something like that. I don't even know. I got into Say around here, I believe. And I'm down quite a lot from that. I'm not too worried. I still think Say will do a decent this cycle. Currently up 10.4%. It's doing very, very well today, which is great for Say. How high it will go is tough to say. Of course, it returns to all-time highs from where it's currently at. That is a 5-6x in value, which is not bad. It could go higher. Again, we'll have to wait and see. it's basically perceived as kind of the faster, less developed SUI. So see where it goes from here. It's not a bad hedge. It's one that I personally hold. Of course, my biggest conviction in Kaspa though. Welcome back, Wyatt, bro. You're doing very, very well. And yeah, we're all living life right now in the market conditions. Now, moving on swiftly, we have got this post here. A very interesting post here. In the case for Kaspa, a crypto YOLO, you only live once, with more upside than Doge and Trump meme coin and GME combined. So it's a Reddit post, one that I think has got a lot of logic and thought process behind it. One that I think we can all symbolize with as well. Also, just to hear me out, I think we could collectively pump Kaspa into the stratosphere. Now, we can disagree with the post in regards. I do think there's parts to agree with here, but I think maybe it's a bit much. Either way, we'll talk about the post and then get back to it again. I'll come back and talk about it more so. But he said we could pump Kaspa into the stratosphere. It had everything needed to moon this to Jupiter. Kaspa is the middle figure to VCs who bought up cheap proof of stake trash coins, hoping they'd buy it off them at a 10x the price, which is fair. I can agree with that much. Kaspa definitely being a fair launch, proof of work, no pre-allocation, no stuff to developers. It did have its shortcomings in regards to it does mean that VCs and entities could very well get into Kaspa for quite cheap and take control of the project a bit more so. I know I have to claim that Shai's making about the KEF right now, which of course Shai has a very personal vendetta against the KEF, with its well-founded or just his own personal belief, again, be it as it may. But Kaspa definitely is a middle finger to VCs who bought up these proof of stakes. You could argue maybe Sui, who are trying to pump the bags 100x and then we buy it off them. It ain't paid shill. It's a retail rebellion. The VCs bet on the wrong horse. Kaspa here is the best because it works, not because some fund needed an extra liquidity strategy. It pumped through the entire bear market and now ready for alt season. So, some key points here. GME taught us one thing. Retail is not completely powerless. Crypto is supposed to be different. It was supposed to be about decentralization, fairness, and giving regular people a shot. But somewhere along the way, it got hijacked by VC firms, hedge funds, and influencers pushing vaporware, meme coins, and pre-mined proof-of-stake garbage on us. Kaspa is a declaration of war against everything that is wrong with crypto. It's 100% fair launch, no pre-mine or VC seed rounds, no early unlocks dumping on your head, just code, community, and conviction. That is a fair point, and it's a true point. But again, I want to just quickly pick this part out and highlight once more what Son Polinsky himself stated, which is, while Kaspa is, in that regard, yes, it is a middle figure to all the hijacking that went on with crypto, and it's true to what it should be. Without these entities now, its potential upwards momentum is going to be very, very difficult. I wouldn't say impossible, but without VC or some form of investments, it's going to be hard for Kaspa to really make that big move, because that's what the space is now unfortunately run off. Us being early, we could still get in early and use them as liquidity maybe, but again, I'm holding up for the long term. Either way, what is Kaspa and why are you shilling it? Okay, Kaspa is a fast proof of work cryptocurrency on Earth with energy efficient K-heavy hash, algorithm sub 1 second blocks, 10 BPS, already outpacing Solana's TPS while staying fully decentralized like Bitcoin. And it's not stopping there. You might see 100 BPS in the future. Going faster, going better, stay more decentralized, all that sort of stuff. Kaspa is the culmination of over 12 years of cryptographic research created by Son Polinsky, a guy whose birthday, happy to say this, again, that's a whole rabbit hole I'm not getting into. But you can say with confidence that Kaspa is definitely a very, very unique and innovative project because, again, the research is there. 90% of crypto projects out there and white people have his research and his work in there. Now, again, VCs are important or some form of institutional investors are important to help a project pump, but there's no doubt Kaspa's got the most unique and innovative technology out there. Not enough, fundamentals not enough, but it is a big element too that's going to help out. Community stack. Kaspa has some huge diamond hand community that builds without hype. These legends have dropped a peer-to-peer encrypted messenger and the first centralized point of sale built on Kaspa. That's talking about Casway and Cassia. Smart contracts launching this summer. Tons of dApps are ready to be deployed from the testnet to the mainnet. That's also very true, and hopefully we'll see many more Ethereum virtual machine and Ethereum dApps coming over once the mainnet goes out. We have heard from Casplex a while back they were talking to other blockchains to bridge over to their Casplex once it's up and running, and also natively on Kaspa once the layer 1.5 is out. And of course, they've spoken to the likes of USDC Circle, which was just more so an introduction than anything else, but you might see that come on Kaspa soon enough as well. The real devs are shipping, and degens are already trading meme coins on the network. Not so much right now. Chaos is kind of in the bin, but it's still happening right now, and you'll see much more when the price starts going up as well. Is Kaspa being suppressed? Potentially. Bitcoin maxis and VC funds hate Kaspa because it makes their bags look bad. It exposes the slow, useless chains they pumped. The incentive to keep Kaspa off the radar is huge. So, you can see it, and you even posted a link here about how some people are, Bitcoin maxis in particular, are, putting their whole life on a try and prove that Kaspa's terrible. Is what it is, right? Is it terrible? Well, who's paying attention to the project? Dr. Heisberg. He's been a big Kaspa lover for a long, long time, saying that Bitcoin was a Kaspa testnet. Nicholas Sismore, who used to be the ex-Binance head of listing. He's now an integral part of Kaspa's media team. Hans Moog, who left IOTA and joined Kaspa as a core researcher. Cardano founder talks about the protocol preceding Kaspa, Ghost and Spectre. We've seen that as well. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin spoke about Ghost Protocol as well. Coinbase director, who now works at BlackRock, apparently invested in Kaspa. Now, that post I've seen, that post I don't trust, because this individual, I think, has been discredited and put down. This Ibrahim guy, I think he's a fake, but that's a throwaway in that regard. Therefore, Kaspa has got listing on Binance and Coinbase futures already, and we do believe that we'll see that come through in regards to spot listings later on as well. Grayscale had it on their radar, not anymore. That has also been and gone, and it may come back. And then, more and more stuff. So the plan he highlights here is, I'm saying we should YOLO this thing, 10x leverage, and watch it melt faces. Again, you do your own research, not financial advice. I'm not going to do that, because there's people as well in this space could very well have more capital than myself and decide to go the other direction and liquidate me. So I'm not going to do something that risky. I do think Kaspa's got more upside and downside here, but I do think that Kaspa is definitely got all the capabilities to explode in value, and it is, I agree, a middle finger to VCs. Now, will that be enough? If I'm being transparent, no. At least not in the immediate short term, which is what Son Polinsky and Michael Sam are talking about. Again, going back to the post here, where Son Polinsky himself was highlighting that Kaspa is fantastic, of course. Very, very good. But it needs more than just, fantastic fundamentals. It needs much more than that. It needs to be able to attract institutional investors with robust products. It needs more than just, it's got great fundamentals. It needs something more than that. Now, I do believe it's going to come through again with the evolution. Look, another user, Jim Ski Bum, pointed out that the practical need is core, improved developers, docs would be useful. So all these stuff here, I think the post here is a nice one. I think it's probably quite underrated as well. Came out a day ago. There are some parts I think you need more research into, because again, this here I believe has been discredited, and this is also no longer the case. But I do think the post for the most part is quite a good one, and I do agree that Kaspa has got a lot more room to run, but I don't think retail is enough. Now, don't get me wrong, what Kaspa is, I think VCs will come through. VCs or institutional investors will come through. You've got the KRI, I think institutions are going to come through regardless. But with that, I think Kaspa does, at anything, it needs it. Right? You can't have retail alone pump the price. Most people who control the world's capital, they are institutions. They are the 1%. Retail is not enough to make Kaspa become a top 5 project. To become a top 5 project, it needs institutions. They'll come through. When I don't know, and it's tough to say. I think you can see some significant developments following smart contracts and use case coming through. We've already seen some transactions going up thanks to the Cassia. Hopefully see many more coming through with the public testnet as well. We are seeing more adoption coming through. Apparently there's now a chance for Kaspa to get integrated onto the Coin Omi wallet as well. So again, we can vote on that as well to get the ranking up. Adoptions coming through is still a whole, a grueling process right now. 78 million volume, still lackluster, dominated by the likes of Gate, then MEXC, then BitGet, Again, we're starting to go up a lot higher. We're seeing the product still going up higher and higher. It's the same thing we've been saying for a while now. Right now, we've got a lot of uncertainty, a lot of FUD, a lot of this war that's still not got confirmation. The markets are saying the war's definitely not coming, with oil currently down, 78% right now. Gold's not really moving at all right now, going sideways. S&P is up almost 1%. So right now the markets are saying war's definitely not happening. But again, that could be a fake out. It could very well, again, just be showcasing that the markets themselves don't really know right now. We have no idea. It's tough to say. So keep vigilant. Do your own research. For me right now, again, I'm looking at 3 C's markets in particular. Oil, gold, and S&P 500, SPX. That's helping me determine what the smart money are doing right now. If these two go up and this goes down, prepare. Otherwise, then, if this continues to go, if oil continues to stay low, that could be a very, very good indicator that the FUD is kind of coming to an end. And then hopefully Bitcoin will soon enough follow that M2 money supply. Again, we've been waiting for that for a while right now. It's been following it very diligently. And as of late, it's been a bit lackluster, which is understandable right now due to all the uncertainties. But we're hoping to see that Bitcoin start rallying going into the end of June, going into July. Again, it doesn't follow 100%. It's 80%, 9%. It's close, but not exactly accurate. I think this week could potentially be a good one. But again, keep an eye on the headline news right now. The headline's what's driving the markets. Will it do that? Time will tell. Say has an infinite supply. Oh, does it? I did. Well, I hold say actually. Did I not do that simple bit of research? Huh. Well, I believe when I first looked at it, it did have a max supply there, but it's not there now, so it must have an infinite supply. Okay, well then that's something that I am probably going to take out then. That's a mishap on my behalf, because I've made it very vocal about my stance on infinite supply tokens, and that's not going to change. When I believe when I looked at say it was not infinite supply, but evidently I was mistaken, because it makes it no different from a regular, dollar. So yeah, that is something I'm changing my mind on very quickly now. Well, I'm probably going to sell it tonight then. I'm going to sell it at a loss, but it is what it is. I think it's that for me, I mean, who knows what's going to happen to that project. I'll just put it more into Kaspa therefore. No harm on my back. What surprises me is that gold is always going sideways with everything that's happening. I would have thought that it would have climbed. I mean, that's also why I think that's what I mean. The smart money went out and controlled the markets. Smart money would have definitely pumped gold past all-time highs if war's confirmed. So that is going sideways means that they're equally not too concerned, or they're not too worried right now. Not enough to put it into gold, which is always a safe haven for uncertainty. Welcome back, Alyssa. Hope you do very, very well. Glad I bought more on the dump and ignored the FUD. Good to hear. Good to hear indeed. Been printing these shorts though. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, people who have been following the trades, I mean, yeah, you could be making some serious gains right now. We have got some trades currently ongoing as well, with the BYDFI channels, the VIPs and whatnot. And hopefully we'll see some big printers as well. People who, hedged against it today did fantastically well. People who obviously shorted still. Still where it goes from here. That being said though, again, if you want to find out more about crypto and Kaspa, check out the free community. Link down below in the description, and also on my homepage here as well. Also VIP 7-day free trial, or get permanent VIP access to the BYDFI channels and a 1-month free trial. Again, all links are in the Discord server, the free one, and down below in the description as well. If you enjoy the stream, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching once more. Have a great day, good evening, and good night, my family, my people. And I will see you all